Greetings, land of crypto. What I have here is the 200-day moving average. This yellow line going up here. I've drawn in twice so you can see it. If you notice up here in the top left, have it in twice, so it makes it extra visible. I see in other videos I've watched, other channels in the past, I find myself trying to squint and see what they're talking about. So hopefully you can see that big, juicy, thick, extra line there. So the last candle, this is the daily chart. The last candle clearly closed, and the next one reopened clearly on it, smack dab on it. So for the last 10, 20 days, last 3 weeks or so, it's been above it. And even though we wicked below it here, it's still above it. Although I don't really like this a whole lot as an indicator, because back here from August 8th to August 20th, August 19th area, I remember I made a video. I just said, just ignoring it, right? Just blasting through it and blasting up through it and blasting down through it and blasting up through it. Like it's not even there. So obviously the bots and the composite man was not paying attention to it now. It looks like it is in play now a little bit. But I was playing around and with these moving averages, and I want to show you something. You might find this very interesting. Real quick, before I get to what I want to talk about here coming up in a couple minutes, I just want to show you this. Sometimes when you just mess around with stuff, you can, your mind kind of, if you see a visual representation, it just helps your mind think. And I just want to show you this. So this is a moving average. Let's change the color to, let's go white. Should stick out pretty good there. And we will start at 1. This is daily, the daily moving average. The yellow one is the 200-day moving average. The white line you'll see pop out here, the chart right now. The 1-day moving average is the exact same thing as the candlestick chart. See that in there? It'll become obvious. Now I'm going to start clicking 1 click at times a day. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see how it moved down out of there a little bit? It's kind of cool. So broadcasting this to, say, 1,000 people, there's some of you out there that something in here might click with you, right? So 1,000 heads are better than 1. Let me know in the comments section any thoughts you have about just watching this. Okay, so 7 days is a week. So essentially you're looking at the 1 week moving average, that white line with these little blue dots. See how that's working? So 7-day moving average is the 1 week moving average. So let's just keep going. 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's go for a while. You can see over here on the left, we're at 17 days. See that? And then watch the white line. See how the white line affects. I'm going to rip through about 100 right here real quick. There it goes. That's kind of neat. See, it's kind of like a little wiggly amoeba worm, right? See how that's working? We're at 60 days. 70 days. That's a 70-day moving average. That's the 10-week moving average price of Bitcoin. I said I was going to rip through 100. I stopped, didn't I? Okay, let's go to 100. See how that's affecting. There's a 100-day moving average. It's really not relevant, but I want to show you something here. So let's go. I'll rip up to 140 days. Boom, 140 days. Now we got something. 140 days is the 20-week moving average. So lots of bots and computers and traders might be dialed in, say like the 20-week moving average, the 200-day moving average. I don't know if that's exactly true, but let's zoom in here. Look where this wick bounced. I'm sure all of you are well aware of the big dumpy dump. It bounced basically right off of it, the 20-week moving average. I don't know if that's just dumb luck or what it is, but that's definitely right on it. It's actually on the 142-day moving average. This is Phemex, so different sites will be a little different. So let's just go ahead and 140 days, say the 20-week moving average. Looks to have some sort of relevance here. It's never had any really relevance before. Although, you know what? I didn't really look at this. If you look back here, the 20-week moving average from September of 2020 all the way to basically the whole month of September of 2020. I didn't see that before when I was goofing around. That's September 2020 off the 20-week moving average. That's just day after day. Look at that. Wick, right off it. Boom, 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 boom. Right off it. Rises a little bit off it. Comes back down. Boom, 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 boom. Right off it. Rises off it. Comes back down. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, they're definitely looking back there. It was right on it, wasn't it? So this is only basically other times relevant. So I just I saw an article on Kraken that they sent me in an email. They mentioned the 20-week moving average. So I thought I'd see. I thought that was kind of cool. So let's go ahead and run this to the 200-day moving average. Our little amoeba wiggly worm. Let's see where it goes. Going up. It's going to match this yellow line. See, when I get to 200, it's kind of neat. Kind of neat how that works. Boom. 200-day moving average. Okay, so what happens if we keep going? I didn't keep going before. Let's keep going and see. Just for fun, let's see if we go higher and higher and higher. Let's see what happens to it. Let's see if there's any kind of relevance we can glean from this. 250 days. Oh, 300 days, kind of interesting. There's a 300 day. It's actually 300 days, kind of coming up through here. That's kind of interesting. What happens if we draw a line, a trend line from, say, where was that at? Here. To here. To this guy. Extend it. It's kind of interesting. Off the bottom of these wicks, see the wicks I'm going off there. So that trend line matches up with the 300-day moving average rather interestingly. I don't know if that means anything, but okay, let's get to what I was going to talk about. If you watch my channel, you know I like trying to come up with my own little analysis. So I was just kind of talking about that stuff because I'm sure if you're watching other channels, you will find that there is support right here, 45,000 area. Probably lots of different indicators people can show you. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to our old friend, the horizontal line. Put it right there. Boom. I'd been talking about this area many times in previous videos. Lo and behold, what do we have? That wick that bounced off the 20-day moving average is also, boom, right there in the exact spot where I've been talking, right? The top of this peak back in January 8th. It's right on it. Pretty close to this one here. Third one here. Let's see how this wick came down, kind of basically bounced off of it here. And this whole area is extremely relevant in my opinion. This is what I'm watching. If you want to know what I'm doing, what this video is about, this is what I'm watching. We've got this area in through here from about 42, give or take, to let's put it at 44.7, 44,045. That area, right? I'm sure you see lots of other channels talking about this. And there's probably hundreds of different things that indicators and analysis and things people can talk about. I like doing my own thing. I like my layer cake. I've talked about my layer cake. This cycle of Bitcoin, we've had basically a layer cake. I've called this the bottom layer, right? And then there's kind of this little gap in between these two yellow lines. shown this a different couple of ways before. And then up here, we've got the top layer cake, about like so. Or wait, shoot, let's draw a new line. I got confused with the price line going across there. Down to the top of the yellow line. We got our top layer cake here. I meant to actually draw that further. I messed up my cake. I gotta rebake it. Hold on a second. Layer cake, bakers, man. Draw this line if you can. Okay, I got layer cake. Layer cake. Crooked. I'm not. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching this area between the yellow line. I don't like the yellow lines for our layer cake. That way it's straight. Okay. Here, this guy. We'll make a nice little. This is from a professional baker. This one. This layer cake's gonna have some baker skills built in. We can have straight lines where we need them. Okay, layer cake. So we got layer cake action. Is Bitcoin going to be a top layer cake or bottom layer cake? Before I start yammering, this is actually probably a 3-level layer cake. We can probably go ahead and draw another one in here, like at 24,000. So say 10,000. Let's put a base layer down here. Oops, I'm running into the side of my desk here. I can put this in there. Okay, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. Etch-a-Sketch. Let's put a bottom layer cake. Now I got triple layer cake. So what I am watching currently, if you watch my videos, you know I'm under the impression this is a cycle playing out with a dead cat bounce. We might be looking at something like this eventually. This is speculation how it goes down to that area. But right now, at this exact moment, what I'm looking for is to see if Bitcoin can maintain above this top yellow line at 45,000. Right? See how the wick here came right down into there and bounced off the top line at 42,000, give or take, or the bottom yellow line is a support. So this is definitely a support area here. Right now, I'm watching to see if Bitcoin is going to break this support area here. Right? This is a big area. If Bitcoin were to break and come down here, particularly if it set a lower low at 37,400 or so, that would be bad for the bull narrative. Lower lows. This big long death wick here that we just printed the other day actually set a lower low in the current trend. The lower low is at 43.9 or so. So a lower low has been set. I'm watching right now to see if Bitcoin can maintain here for a while. I've been watching this closely this whole cycle, and just to an opinionated speculation, it kind of looks like this is another redistribution, another distribution that's going to come down. If it were to be basically a copy of what we just went through from January to May, we would be kind of like right here, and we just dumped. We'd be like right here. See this big wick, like right in the middle of this one. So I'm watching to see if Bitcoin is going to, over the next day or two, if it might kind of stall out here, maybe sideways, maybe pump up a little bit, and then finish this big correction and come down to like 37. See where that line's at, the previous low. I'm watching to see if it's going to actually come down and do that, and then maybe come back up and get back up into the top layer cake, which would be kind of like here. I mean, of course, this doesn't have to repeat, but it's very, very similar action. So many times I've found long-term trends in Bitcoin. As soon as I talk about them, they change, right? It's annoying. But if you look at this right here, this whole price action, if you look and compare it to this right here. It's very, very similar. See that? Comes up here, boom, comes back down. Comes up here, boom, comes back down. Go back up for the second peak. Here's the second peak here. See that? Boom, another correction. That would be this little guy here. This is like a miniature version of what we went through from January to May. And it comes back up, right? Here's the third peak, comes back up here. That would be kind of here, right? Correction. We're just not noticing the corrections as drastically this time. And then like here, we were just here. Like this would be this spot here would be this spot here. And this was at the time the biggest correction in Bitcoin history. Boom. And so this last correction the other day really got a lot of people's attention, particularly probably the new people out there. Boom. See, this is a giant, like almost 20% correction compared to the last price action for the last couple months. That's huge. And so this one was a big one. And then it comes back up. And a lot of these, let's get rid of this mess. A lot of these corrections have a tendency, and then a little bit of a bounce or sideways, and then they finish. Almost all of them are kind of a double. See how it comes down, rebounds, comes back down, boom, boom, big wick, comes back up, kind of goes sideways, and then finishes, boom, and it goes up, down, boom, and it kind of stalls out about halfway down here. See that? And then boom. So I'm watching, I'm watching to see if this is going to have that similar price action. You know, stall. Oh yeah, buy the dip. Yeah, boom, right, and then it comes back up. So I'm seeing if Bitcoin will maintain that top layer status, top layer cake. I think that's likely to happen. I think it's likely for Bitcoin, whether it kind of comes back up now and gains for top layer status, something like that, or if there is a bigger surprise coming, right? It kind of pumps up for a day or two, or kind of sideways, and then this dump finishes out down to like 37,000. Watch this 37,200 area or so, wherever, you know, the low 37,000s or the low 37.1, 37.2, 37.3, 37.4. Watch that area for the next dump. If there is next dump, watch for that to be the bounce. I kind of drew that line there a little too far down, but you know what I'm saying, right? And I think either way, whether it kind of recovers now and comes up and sets a new top, or if it dumps down to like, 37, 38,000 and then comes back up, I do think that's likely. That would kind of be this guy here. Of course, this doesn't have to repeat perfectly, but it's hard not to notice the price action itself of a distribution that we just went through January to May. So this is, of course, just speculation, but that's what I'm looking for, right? Whether it comes down or if it, right now, if it comes back up over the next couple of days, I'm watching. I think either way, whether it recovers now, or if there's still another 10, 15, 20% dump coming, and if there's another big death wick coming down to like 37, 38,000, regardless of what happens, I do think it's probably coming back up into that. Let's get our line back in there. Let's get our yellow lines back in there. Top layer, bottom layer cake. What are we dealing with? So, okay, dump to 37. I'm still looking for it to recover and come back up here. And the next high, which would be here, is going to be lower than here. Right? Here's the high, local high. So I'm watching for it to come here, right, and come back down here. And this could be a big moment in the history of the Bitcoin in 2021. You're looking maybe the end of September, start of October, that area. So let's say the last week of September. I'm looking for it to come back down and test this top layer cake border at 44.7 or so. And I'm watching to see what happens. It could be the time where it does come back down and becomes the bottom layer cake, right? That's what I'm watching right now today. the next couple of days, this week, next week. You know, if you were a trader and you were playing this since July 25th, if you were playing it, if you were to be able to go back in time and play it just like this one from January to May played out, you would be doing wonderful. So, but like I say, as soon as I mention these long-term trends, they have a tendency for some reason to stop immediately when I publish a video about them, which is strange. But maybe other people and the bots and stuff, that maybe they're all recognizing these trends too, right? And that's kind of the whole theory of setting a trap, right? Oh, as soon as people notice this, well, boom, the other way, right? So, anyways, I'm watching the next couple of days. I just have the feeling it might kind of go sideways a little bit, and the likelihood of it coming down here, I think it's 50-50, and or if it kind of goes here and then comes up here, you know, pumps up to like 49 or something. I think that's 50-50 either way. But what I think is almost certain, in my opinion, with a capital O, whether it goes to 37 or goes up to 49, I do think the next local top in this little structure will be somewhere out here, right? And then I'm watching the end of September, that tricky little futures close on the last Friday of the month. I'm watching that. I've talked about that in previous videos. I don't want to talk about that right now, but I'm watching that, right? Those futures have a tendency to dictate the price. And if that plays out, I'm looking for us to be back down here at 44, 45 last week of September. And I'm looking for it to, like I said earlier, that could be where we come down, bottom layer. Or if Bitcoin maintains and stays top layer, you know, that's what I'm watching right now. Before I end this video, I want to just make one point where I'd been talking for a long time about my buy box. Is basically going to be like at 20,000 to like 10,000, 23 to 10. You know, this general area here. No matter how long it takes, I think this is probably going to be the next bear market. I've been kind of thinking about that. Would I have liked to buy some through here? Now looking back, yeah, you know, as long-term investments, probably. So I think I'm going to buy. I'm going to set like a little nibble box from like, you know, 29 down to like 23. You know, if Bitcoin comes back down in this box here, right, I might start nibbling. Right, if I had $1,000, I might like invest like $1 a day. You know what I'm saying? A little nibble. I don't know how much money y'all are dealing with out there, so you know what I mean. $1 out of 1,000 would be 0.1% of my investable money, right? I might start. This might be my nibble box, right? Little nibble box. That way, you know, if I buy at 29, it goes down to 14. You know, if my nibble investments go underwater 50%, you know, I'm okay because I'll still be buying more down here. You know, my nibble box would be something that could go underwater, you know, for a year or two, and I don't really mind, right? Because the chance of it coming down here and, you know, the bottom only being 23, 24, maybe the bottom's, you know, only 28, 29. Long story short, I do believe I'm going to start nibbling like right under 30,000. I'm gonna have a little nibble box, right? A little nibble, and then this is still my buy box down here from like 10 to 20. But I do believe I'm gonna alter it just a touch and say I'm gonna nibble. I'm gonna start nibbling. This is long term, non-leveraged stuff I'm talking about down here. Okay, I think I said what I wanted to say. Y'all have a good day, and thanks for watching.